Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night with your heart pounding so hard you could feel it in your ears? Or maybe you've sat nervously in your doctor's office, watching as they wrapped that tight cuff around your arm, silently praying the numbers wouldn't be too high this time. I understand exactly what it's like to live with that constant fear hanging over you. That feeling when you check your blood pressure multiple times a day, carrying medication wherever you go, avoiding family celebrations because you're afraid the excitement might make your heart work too hard. Hypertension steals more than just your health. It robs you of peace, freedom, and the simple joy of living without worry. And the worst part is hearing those same generic recommendations over and over. Cut your salt, lose weight, take your medications, as if it were that simple, right? After years of helping people like you regain control over their blood pressure, I've discovered that there are powerful solutions your doctor rarely mentions. Natural, accessible foods that actually work. In today's video, I'm going to share with you 3 specific foods that can transform your cardiovascular health. Foods that have helped hundreds of my patients reduce their medication and live with confidence again. Imagine gathering with your grandchildren without constantly monitoring your blood pressure, traveling without fear of a medical emergency far from home, or simply waking up with that heavy feeling in your chest. This isn't just another empty promise. It's a proven path you can start today with foods that are probably already available to you. So stay with me until the end, because this could be the most important video you watch this year for your heart health. Before we begin, I'd love to know if you or someone in your family struggles with high blood pressure. Leave a comment below sharing your experience or any questions you have about hypertension. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to receive more content that could transform your health. Nearly half of American adults are now living with high blood pressure. That's about 120 million people whose hearts are working harder than they should be every single day. The latest data from the CDC shows that in 2023, high blood pressure was a primary or contributing cause of over 664,000 deaths in the United States. What's even shocking is that, despite this epidemic, only about 1 in every 4 adults with hypertension have their condition under control. The numbers don't lie. High blood pressure is silently damaging blood vessels all across America, and conventional approaches clearly aren't working for everyone. But here's what gives me hope. Research shows that specific foods can help lower blood pressure as effectively as some medications, without the side effects. This isn't about completely replacing your doctor's advice or throwing away your prescription. It's about supporting your heart with nature's medicine so that perhaps you might need less pharmaceutical intervention over time. I want to take a moment to ask something important. When was the last time someone really listened to your concerns about high blood pressure? Not just the numbers from your test, but how you feel living with this condition day after day. Many people tell me privately how isolated they feel, as if no one truly understands the constant weight they carry, that silent fear that accompanies every heartbeat. If you relate to this, I would really love to hear your experience in the comments below. Perhaps something as simple as, "I've been fighting hypertension for X years, and what troubles me most is your biggest concern." Sharing your story not only helps me create more relevant content for you, but also shows others watching that they aren't alone in this battle. Sometimes, knowing there's someone going through the same situation brings immense relief. And who knows, your experience might be exactly what someone needed to read today to find hope. Now, let's continue our conversation about how we can transform this reality together. Let's dive into the first powerful food that can help tame your blood pressure naturally. Fatty fish rich in omega-3 acids. Salmon, mackerel, sardines, and trout aren't just delicious, they're medicine for your blood vessels. These fatty fish are packed with EPA and DHA, 2 types of omega-3 acids that work wonders for your cardiovascular system. Recent research published in the Journal of the American Heart Association found that consuming about 3 grams of omega-3 acids daily can lower blood pressure significantly, with the greatest benefits seen in people who already have hypertension. But how exactly do omega-3s work their magic on their blood pressure? It's fascinating science that explains why these fatty acids are so powerful. First, omega-3s help reduce inflammation throughout your body, including in your blood vessels. When inflammation decreases, your blood vessels can relax and dilate more easily, allowing blood to flow through with less resistance. Second, these fatty acids actually activate special potassium channels in your blood vessel walls called BK channels that help regulate your blood pressure. When these channels open, your blood vessels relax and pressure drops. Many of my patients ask, how much fish should I eat? Research suggests eating fatty fish at least twice a week provides significant benefits. A 6-ounce serving of wild salmon delivers about 1.5 grams of omega-3s, halfway to that optimal daily amount, shown to reduce blood pressure. If you're not a fan of fish, high-quality fish oil supplements can be an alternative, but nothing beats the complete nutritional package of whole food.
Let me tell you about Margaret, a 67-year-old patient of mine who came to me with persistent high blood pressure despite taking 2 medications. Her systolic pressure regularly hovered around 160. After adding 2 servings of fatty fish to her weekly diet and taking a high-quality omega-3 supplement on the other days, her blood pressure dropped to 138/82 within just 2 months. Her cardiologist was able to reduce one of her medications, and she reported having more energy than she'd had in years. The beauty of fatty fish is that its benefits extend beyond just blood pressure control. The same omega-3s that relax your blood vessels also reduce triglycerides, fight inflammation, and even help maintain brain health as you age. It's truly a multi-purpose food medicine that addresses several aspects of cardiovascular health simultaneously. If you're concerned about mercury or other contaminants in fish, choose smaller species like sardines and herring, which typically contain lower levels of environmental toxins than larger predatory fish. Wild-caught Alaskan salmon is also an excellent choice that's generally lower in contaminants. And remember, baking, broiling, or grilling your fish preserves more of the beneficial omega-3s than frying. Now, let's move on to our second powerful blood pressure-lowering food, beets. These vibrant root vegetables might not be on your regular shopping list, but they absolutely should be if you're serious about natural blood pressure control. Beets contain natural compounds called nitrates that your body converts into nitric oxide, a molecule that acts as a powerful vasodilator, signaling your blood vessels to relax and widen. Clinical studies have shown that drinking just 1 cup of beetroot juice can lower systolic blood pressure by an average of 4 to 5 points within just hours. That's a significant reduction from a single serving. And the effect can last up to 24 hours after consumption. The impact is even more pronounced in people with existing hypertension, with some studies showing reductions of up to 8 to 10 points in systolic pressure. The nitrates in beets work differently than the harmful nitrates sometimes found in processed meats. When you consume beets, beneficial bacteria in your mouth convert the nitrates to nitrites. These nitrites travel to your stomach, where they're further transformed into nitric oxide, which then circulates throughout your body. As nitric oxide reaches your blood vessels, it triggers the smooth muscle cells in your vessel walls to relax, increasing the diameter of the vessels and improving blood flow. This natural process effectively lowers the pressure inside your circulatory system.
Beyond just nitrates, beets also provide a good source of potassium, folate, and antioxidants, all additional nutrients that support heart health. Potassium helps counterbalance sodium's effects, while antioxidants protect your blood vessels from oxidative damage that can contribute to hypertension over time. You might be wondering how to incorporate beets into your diet, especially if you're not a fan of their earthy flavor. Beetroot juice is one convenient option, but you can also roast beets with a little olive oil to bring out their natural sweetness, grate them raw into salads, or even blend them into smoothies with berries to mask their distinctive taste. For those who really dislike the flavor or want a more concentrated source, beetroot powder supplements are available and have been shown to provide similar benefits. Robert, a 58-year-old construction manager I worked with, was initially skeptical about beets having any significant impact on his stubborn high blood pressure. After trying medication with uncomfortable side effects, he agreed to drink 8 ounces of beetroot juice every morning for 3 weeks. His average systolic pressure dropped from 154 to 139, and he noticed he had more energy throughout his workday. The improvement was so convincing that Robert now keeps beetroot powder in his truck to mix with water when he's working on job sites. The wonderful thing about beets is how quickly they work. While many dietary approaches to hypertension might take weeks to show results, the nitric oxide pathway activated by beets can produce measurable improvements in blood pressure within hours. This makes beets especially valuable as a complementary approach alongside conventional treatments. For maximum benefit, try to consume beets or beetroot juice 3 to 4 times per week. If you're taking blood pressure medications, especially nitrate-based drugs for chest pain, be sure to consult with your healthcare provider before significantly increasing your beet consumption, as the combined effect could potentially lower your blood pressure too much. Also worth noting, don't be alarmed if your urine or stool takes on a reddish color after eating beets. This harmless effect, called beeturia, is simply the natural pigments passing through your system.
Our third powerful food for natural blood pressure control is something you might already have in your kitchen. Magnesium-rich foods like dark leafy greens, particularly spinach. While not as exotic as some trendy superfoods, spinach is truly a cardiovascular superfood backed by solid scientific research. It's one of nature's richest sources of magnesium, a mineral that plays a critical role in blood pressure regulation but is lacking in many Americans' diets. Magnesium works its blood pressure-lowering magic through multiple mechanisms. First, it helps relax and dilate blood vessels, similar to how calcium channel blocker medications work, but without the side effects. Second, magnesium helps regulate other minerals crucial for blood pressure control, including potassium, calcium, and sodium. It's like a conductor, making sure all the musicians in the orchestra play in harmony. Third, magnesium helps prevent the excessive constriction of blood vessels that can occur in response to stress hormones and other triggers. Clinical research supports these effects. A meta-analysis of 34 studies found that magnesium supplementation for just 3 months reduced systolic blood pressure by an average of 2 points and diastolic pressure by 1.8 points. The effects were even more dramatic in people with existing magnesium deficiency, with some studies showing reductions of 5 or 6 points or more. That might not sound huge, but researchers estimate that even a 2-point reduction in systolic blood pressure could reduce stroke risk by 10% and heart disease risk by 7% across a population. 1 cup of spinach provides about 157 milligrams of magnesium, making a significant contribution toward the recommended daily intake of 400 to 420 milligrams for men and 310 to 320 milligrams for women. Spinach also delivers a powerful package of other blood pressure-friendly nutrients, including potassium, which helps flush excess sodium from your body, folate, which helps maintain the health of your blood vessel walls, and antioxidants like lutein, which protect against oxidative damage to your cardiovascular system. There's a synergistic effect when you consume these nutrients together in whole foods rather than as isolated supplements. The entire matrix of nutrients in spinach works together to support your cardiovascular system more effectively than any single component could on its own.
Jennifer, a 62-year-old teacher I worked with, had been struggling with borderline hypertension for years, but wanted to avoid medication if possible. We focused on adding a cup of sautéed spinach to her diet almost daily, along with other magnesium-rich foods like almonds and black beans. After 2 months, her average blood pressure had dropped from 138/88 to 124/82, bringing her completely back into the normal range without medication. She was particularly pleased that the solution was as simple as increasing a common vegetable in her diet. Beyond spinach, other excellent sources of magnesium include Swiss chard, kale, collard greens, nuts, especially almonds, seeds, particularly pumpkin seeds, beans, whole grains, and even dark chocolate, in moderation, of course. By incorporating a variety of these foods into your regular diet, you can significantly increase your magnesium intake. If you're not a fan of spinach's flavor, try adding it to smoothies with fruit, where its taste is barely noticeable. You can also wilt it into soups, stews, and pasta sauces in the last few minutes of cooking, or use baby spinach as a milder-tasting base for salads. The versatility of spinach makes it easy to incorporate into almost any eating pattern. It's worth noting that certain medications, including some diuretics, commonly prescribed for high blood pressure, can deplete your body's magnesium levels. If you're taking these medications, consuming magnesium-rich foods becomes even more important to maintain healthy levels of this essential mineral. Now that we've explored these three powerful foods for blood pressure control, omega-3-rich fatty fish, nitrate-packed beets, and magnesium-laden spinach, let's talk about how to combine them for maximum benefit. The beauty of these foods is that they work through different mechanisms to lower blood pressure, creating a complementary approach that's greater than the sum of its parts. Consider creating a meal that combines all three: a delicious salmon fillet served alongside roasted beets and a bed of sautéed spinach. This single meal delivers a powerful trio of blood pressure-lowering nutrients: omega-3 fatty acids to reduce inflammation and improve arterial function, nitrates to boost nitric oxide production and dilate blood vessels, and magnesium to relax vascular smooth muscle and improve mineral balance. It's like a natural pharmacy on your plate, designed specifically for your cardiovascular system.
The DASH diet, dietary approaches to stop hypertension, has long been recommended for blood pressure management. But by strategically incorporating our three power foods into this framework, you can potentially enhance its effectiveness even further. The DASH approach emphasizes fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, and low-fat dairy, while limiting sodium, red meat, and sweets. Our three foods fit perfectly within this pattern while targeting specific pathways involved in blood pressure regulation. What makes this approach particularly valuable is that it focuses on adding beneficial foods to your diet rather than just restricting things you enjoy. This positive approach tends to be more sustainable long-term than diets focused primarily on elimination. You're nourishing your body rather than depriving it. It's also important to recognize that these foods work synergistically with other lifestyle modifications for blood pressure control. Regular physical activity, stress management techniques like meditation or deep breathing, adequate sleep, and moderate alcohol consumption all complement the effects of these foods. Together, these approaches address multiple factors that contribute to hypertension. For many of my patients, this food-based approach has allowed them to reduce their dependence on medications or maintain lower doses than they would otherwise need. I'm not suggesting you stop taking prescribed medications. That decision should always be made in partnership with your healthcare provider. But bringing these research-backed foods to your next appointment can open a productive conversation about integrating nutritional approaches into your treatment plan. Remember that consistency is key with any dietary approach to blood pressure management. These aren't magic foods that will normalize your pressure after a single meal. Rather, they're powerful tools that, when incorporated regularly into your eating pattern, can help create lasting improvements in your cardiovascular health. Think of each serving as a deposit in your blood pressure savings account. Small daily contributions add up to significant benefits over time. I'd also like to emphasize that while we've focused on three particularly powerful foods today, they exist within a broader context of a heart-healthy diet. Other beneficial foods worth incorporating include berries, rich in antioxidants and polyphenols, nuts and seeds, providing healthy fats, protein, fiber, and minerals, legumes, offering plant protein and soluble fiber, olive oil, containing monounsaturated fats and antioxidants, and fermented foods, supporting gut health, which increasingly appears connected to cardiovascular health.
If you've reached this point in the video, you probably understand how challenging it can be to live with high blood pressure. That constant worry, the medications with side effects, the restrictions that seem to steal some of the joy from everyday life. I want you to know that you're not alone in this journey. Our channel was created specifically to build a community of support for people like you who are seeking natural, effective ways to care for their cardiovascular health. Each week, we share new discoveries, simple recipes that help control blood pressure naturally, and answers to questions that doctors often don't have time to explain during brief appointments. If this content has been helpful to you, please consider subscribing to the channel and activating notifications.
This way, we can walk together on this health journey, taking one step at a time without rushing, but with the consistency your heart deserves. I don't promise miracles, but I do guarantee honest information based on serious research and the experience of those who have achieved real results. Take good care of yourself, and I hope to see you in the next video where we'll continue our conversation about living better, even with hypertension. Your heart appreciates every small act of care you dedicate to it today. Remember that high blood pressure isn't just about numbers on a monitor. It's about regaining the freedom to enjoy life without constant worry. By incorporating these 3 powerful foods, omega-3 rich fatty fish, nitrate-packed beets, and magnesium-laden spinach, you're not just following another diet trend. You're engaging with centuries of traditional wisdom now validated by modern science. You're taking control of your health in a way that works with your body's natural systems, rather than just suppressing symptoms. I've seen these approaches transform lives in my practice. Patients who thought they'd be on increasing doses of medication for the rest of their lives, now maintaining healthy blood pressure with reduced pharmaceutical support, or sometimes none at all. People who have reclaimed the energy and vitality that hypertension and its treatments had stolen from them. This isn't about rejecting conventional medicine. It's about creating an integrated approach that uses the best of nutritional science alongside appropriate medical care. It's about becoming an empowered participant in your health journey, rather than a passive recipient of prescriptions. So I encourage you to try incorporating these 3 foods into your meals this week. Notice how you feel. Track your blood pressure readings. Be patient with the process, knowing that you're nourishing your body at a fundamental level. And remember that even small improvements in blood pressure can significantly reduce your risk of serious cardiovascular events over time. Thank you for joining me today on this exploration of natural approaches to blood pressure management. Your commitment to your health inspires me to continue sharing this vital information. Until next time, keep nourishing your heart one meal at a time.